Welcome to episode 99. Goodbye 2020. I'm your host, Sean Patrick Maloney. Thanks for joining me today. Today, I want to help you with saying goodbye 2020. Let's move into 2021. I know for a lot of you, this sentence makes sense, but for us in real estate, I'd love to hang on to 2020. It was such a great year. We had so many sales. We grew as a company. We took on more agents. We took on more things. But you, most of you as consumers, most of you as a normal person out there, especially those of you who are not considered essential people, are ready to say goodbye 2020. Let's ring in 2021. So let's go over a little bit about why 2020 was bad and why it was good, as well as what's going to go on in 2021. What can we look forward to versus what can we look forward to having gone? So first off, 2020 was bad for most, but good for others. Who was it good for? It was good for tech giants. It was good for real estate people. It was great for medical professionals. I mean, maybe they'll argue that it wasn't fun to deal with, but they made a ton of money. I seen a COVID line the other day. I knew it was $160. Must have had 200 people in it. At $160, I had to do a test. So some people did well. All the while, the people standing in line were doing terrible because they're spending their money to get tested to find out if they have a virus. But for us in real estate, like I said, great year. One of the only challenges we had was lack of inventory. So a lot of people didn't sell, or the houses sold so fast that we ran out of inventory a lot of times. On a typical year, we'll have anywhere between 10 and 15,000 listings at this time of year. This year, the entire market represents about 3,400 at this point in time. That's an enormous drop, somewhere in the 4 to 5 times less. So 4 to 500% less inventory. What does this mean? It means that prices are going up. So for 2021, what is my prediction? We're going to see some of the highest prices coming into spring 2021. All the while, though, I want you all to be careful. If you're saying, I'm riding this pony all the way to the end and I'm trying to get absolute top dollar, I'm going to say that you might want to jump on the pony pretty soon because of the fact that we may not be going up forever. We are at a really high place. Things are starting to level out. We're starting to see the vaccine roll out. We're starting to see normality come back to play. I'm not going to call it the new normal because I don't accept the new normal. I'm going to accept we're going back to our old ways and we're starting to head towards a life without dealing with a virus and dealing with having to hide inside of our homes and having to hide from other people in our families. So 2021, there are going to be some top dollar sales. I would highly recommend anybody thinking about selling in 2021 to take advantage of that at the beginning of the season. I don't know that I would jump in the spring market and say you're going to get as much. Of course, it's going to be some great sales then, but I would highly recommend January, February, March, April, getting the house on the market early. That way you're there by yourself. I can tell you personally, we sold a home recently. We put it on for $575, which seemed like top dollar, and it's going to go for over $600. I can't tell you the number because it's not closed out yet, but it went for absolute top dollar because of the lack of inventory. So the lack of inventory happened for many reasons. One of them is because most houses are selling so quickly and there's so many buyers out there that it makes it seem like there's a lack of inventory. Because if you actually take a look between under agreement and contingent, there are 3 times as many houses as there are on the market. So this means there's 8 to 9,000 houses, sometimes even 10,000, that have accepted offers that are ready to close, just waiting for the timeline, whereas we only have that 3,400 houses on the market. So lack of inventory is a great thing for a seller. Reason being is it allows you to stand out by yourself. And in a place like we are right now, where we have tons of buyers, it means that they're going to have to pay you what they want if they want to land a home. And I can tell you, any human that has children or any human that has housing needs, whether it be medical or any human basically that just has housing needs, when cornered, they're going to pay more. They're going to pay more because they need to win that one. It also makes it a bit competitive. The human brain has a really competitive side to it. So when we deal with these lack of inventories and we see so many buyers around, whether it be through open houses or just the idea of booking an appointment takes a long time, it can make us make those bigger offers, which means for you, the seller, lack of inventory is a big help. But remember, as a buyer too, that we have historically low rates. So we have a great time for buying, even though prices are up. Why? Because it's all about what do you pay a month, right? I know a lot of you say, well, Sean, that seems a bit odd. Yes and no. Okay. One reason is because, first off, we tend to not stay in houses for more than 5 to 10 years. But second off is if you take an amount a month and you multiply it by 360, which is a 30-year loan payment schedule, can we both agree that if you multiply a lower number by that same 360, you actually paid less. So this means even though you thought you paid less for the home, between interest and all that, you actually paid more for the home during a down thing because the rate was high. So this is a place where refinancing for some sellers may be an option. You don't want to leave, maybe you refinance. But I would say, why refi when you can rebuy? 2021 is a great year to take into basically what we call cashing out the chips. When we're at the casino, we're playing, we're at a blackjack table, we got a bunch of chips there. We have two choices. One, keep rolling the dice, see where the cards go, see how it goes. Or the other one is to take a step away from that table, to walk over to the cashier and to cash out. What will we do with the cash out money? Well, this is the money that now becomes ours, because before we cashed out, that money was just up in the air paper money. And I know a lot of you are going to get confused by this because you're going to say, well, I'm just buying another house and it's just paper money again. Well, depending on your situation, you may be able to do a rebuy with a cash out refinance. Basically, what I mean is maybe your house is worth so much that you have 20% down, even though you're going to take 20 grand and put it in your bank account, pay off your credit card bills, pay off kids, maybe college, other things like that. So it's basically a way to refi, but also to move into a bigger or smaller home. Maybe a great time to capitalize. You're an empty nester, you got a huge house. Why not resell right now while the money's high and buy while the rate's low, a lesser house, have your payment go down, have your total net gain go up, have your total life expenses go down, and have yourself situated in a new home while getting paid, basically, because you have so much equity. And then also you can take, maybe say you tuck away some of the money, or maybe say you pay down those other bills. Maybe you no longer have a car payment after this. Maybe you no longer have those college debts of your own, not just your children's, but your own. Maybe you have a medical bill that needs attention. Or maybe you just want a better life for 2021. You want to go on vacation and stuff. Perfect time to do a cash out by rebuying with the sale. So let's go over some other things going to go on 2021. Mortgage forbearance. So as we all know, they just passed the newest stimulus package. We're getting a $600 big fat check, whatever you want to call it. But also realize that it talked about mortgage forbearance and rent forbearance. It pushed it back. It was supposed to expire now. Pushed it back to January 31st, 2021. Well, I can't go over all the details. I'll go over some here. But what this means is that we may start processing foreclosures this year. There is a big backlog of foreclosures. A lot of people talk about the low inventory. I want to buy a foreclosure. Reason foreclosures haven't been happening is it's actually illegal right now. The banks can't foreclose. So this means in 2021, we might start coming into some foreclosures. Although this might excite you guys, you might say, geez, I can't wait for the foreclosures. I'm going to sit back and wait. I can tell you for the first, I'd say almost 50% of the foreclosures that go through, they will sell for more money because of the fact of the lack of inventory. So I don't think foreclosures are a great deal, because lots of times they come with a lot of open ends, whether it be disclosures of problems to whatever. I wouldn't feel very trusting to buy foreclosures for too much money. I don't mind buying a foreclosure when I get a deal, when I can see some equity that I'm going to gain by buying it and fixing certain things. What I'm worried about is when I'm buying a foreclosure and the market is way up and I'm paying top dollar for something that is as is, uninspected, possibly includes different liens, taxes, and encumbrances. I want to be very careful about that. So mortgage forbearance coming up, it will mean that in 2021 or 2022, we're going to see a big foreclosure marketplace. But I'd say all the way till mid 2022, it'll take for them to show up, because remember, the bank has to go through the process. And if you think after COVID that most people aren't going to fight the process of being foreclosed on and blame everything except for the fact they didn't pay their bills on this, of course. So it's going to take us some time. The other thing we have is some rent repay with this, right? So the landlords or the person, the renter, have the ability to apply online with each other's permission to get their rent paid. So this is good for the multifamily home marketplace. A lot of them are very nervous about the idea of never collecting rents because of rent forbearance. And then how is a person who can't pay their rent today going to come up with whatever, 2 months, 6 months, 10 months, however long they've been forbearing? How are they going to come up with it? Well, the government solution to this is to allow some free money into that marketplace. So if you're a landlord or you're a tenant, you want to have your eyes on that right away, because I can tell you when EIDL or the PPP loan came out as a business owner, the people who sat back did not get it because it all got soaked up. So if you own rental property or you're a renter, you need to keep your ears to the ground and pay attention to when those checks are ready and get it as soon as possible so you don't miss out. At the end of the day, 2020 was a year of growth for Movementum Realty. We added more agents, we did more sales, we helped out the community more, we wrote more Find Your Way Home veteran checks than ever, and we continued that positive path. We're looking to grow even more in 2021. If you're an agent or you're looking to become an agent, or you're just worried about the idea of not being an essential employee, reach out to us over here at Movementum Realty. We can talk to you about the entire process about becoming an agent, how it is to make money being an agent, and what the process is to take the test. I look forward to talking to you guys in 2021. Really excited about episode 100 coming up. If you haven't yet subscribed, please do so. Also, make sure to tell your friends and family about it. Remember, we also have a Facebook group, a blog, and also a newsletter that gives out tons of free information about buying, selling, and owning homes, because it's our goal to be your move mentor and to work with you throughout the entire process of home ownership. We like to think that we can be your forever agent and that we can help you make decisions, everything from what counters and floors to install financially that makes sense to sell it in the future, all the way to how do we list your home and get you the most money for it. If you're looking to buy, sell, or just learn more about housing, reach out to us. I look forward to talking to you next week for episode 100. Thank you so much for listening and have a great day.